Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Badass Benny, and if you're an AMAC, ACE, or human sex trafficking survivor, you're in the right place. And it won't cost you a penny to like and subscribe and share worldwide. And if you have any comments, please write them below. Today, we're going to talk about rape, sexual assault, and AIDS. And I got this information from Sexual Trauma Services in San Francisco. So getting AIDS because of a sexual assault is very unlikely. If the person who assaulted you does not have the AIDS virus in his body, it is still possible for you to get AIDS from him. Even if the person who assaulted you has AIDS, it is still very unlikely that you will get AIDS because of the rape. The following information is to address your concerns about sexual assault, rape, and AIDS. Why is it unlikely that you could get AIDS from a sexual assault? Why is it unlikely that you could get AIDS from a sexual assault? 3 important facts to remember about AIDS and sexual assault. 1. Repeated sexual contact with an infected person or exposure to many infected men is important for the development of AIDS. Although one exposure can result in infection, the risk of getting AIDS from a single contact rape is low. 2. The AIDS virus is found in high quantities in semen cum, so you are at low risk for exposure if the assailant, the rapist, did not ejaculate inside of you. 3. Less than 1% of people who have AIDS got it from heterosexual contact, sex between men and women. What is the risk of getting AIDS from a sexual assault? A one-time sexual assault does not dramatically increase your risk for getting AIDS. If you were at low risk for getting AIDS before the sexual assault, you are still at low risk for getting AIDS. If you are a homosexual male practicing unsafe sex, you are already at high risk for getting AIDS. If you don't know the safe sex guidelines, ask your healthcare worker for this information. If you're either bisexual male or a woman who practices unsafe sex with bisexual men, you are already at risk for getting AIDS. If you shoot drugs with unsterile, dirty needles, you are already at high risk for getting AIDS. If you were at high risk for getting AIDS before the sexual assault, you are still at high risk because of your sexual practices or drug use, not because of the one-time assault. What type of sexual assault puts you at higher risk for exposure to AIDS? The sexual act with the highest risk is penile penetration of the anus with ejaculation. Anal tissue absorbs very readily. Also, anal penetration can tear sensitive tissue, so may allow more of the AIDS virus to enter the bloodstream directly. This is much less likely with a vaginal or oral penetration, unless there are open cuts or sores in the vagina or mouth, or in your bottom, in your butt. Anyone may get AIDS from a sexual contact. A man infected with AIDS can transmit the AIDS virus by vaginal or anal penetration with ejaculation. It is less clear whether ejaculation into the mouth will allow transmission of the virus if there are no cuts or sores. There is currently no method, vaccination, pill, cream, douche, that kills the AIDS virus once it is in your body. I don't know if that is true today. I would have to do more research on that of today in 2026. Is there a way to find out if you have been exposed to AIDS? The AIDS virus antibody test can tell you if your body has been exposed to the virus that can cause AIDS. It cannot tell you whether or not you will get sick. Antibodies are proteins which your body makes after a virus enters your system. It may take up to 6 months for your body to make antibodies. If you want to take the test, you should wait until 6 months after the sexual assault before you take it. There are some good reasons to take the test and some good reasons not to take it. Make sure you know the pros and cons before you make a decision either way. Talk to a health care worker who knows about AIDS, or call the AIDS hotline. I will put the National AIDS hotline on my site. I'm going to make a note of that. If you did get exposed to AIDS, what will happen? And I know they can swab it now today, so that's a new thing. Not everyone who's exposed to the AIDS virus will get sick. At least 50% will never have any symptoms of AIDS at all. Some will have symptoms milder than AIDS. This is called ARC, AIDS-related complex. A small number of people will actually get AIDS. Other factors including general health, nutrition, stress, and drug or alcohol use, that's a drug, or alcohol use affect the body's response to the AIDS virus. Poor health habits do not give you AIDS, but they do make your body less able to fight off any infection, including AIDS. Note, AIDS information changes and new research is completed. Consult local AIDS resources for the most current information. And folks, if no one's told you today that you're loved, I love you unconditionally. And also, what are you going to do to take care of yourself today?